Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. My name is Mohit Sharma. I am a digital architect by profession. Around 2 years ago, I wrote an article about business architecture, which was based on my previous experiences with the discipline as to how, in the role of an enterprise architect, I introduced business architecture to my organization and what kind of value did it deliver. So I received a lot of queries on LinkedIn around the same article. And I thought I'll make a short video just to elaborate as to what business architecture is, how you can make more sense out of it, what kind of benefits you can derive from the same. So going further, what basically is business architecture? So business architecture, in very simple terms, you can consider it as a blueprint of the organization. It reveals how an organization is structured and can demonstrate how elements such as capabilities, processes, functions, organizations, your data, your information, your processes, how do they fit in together? What kind of value do they deliver? It basically helps you establish a common understanding of the organization between stakeholders, of course, and is used to align strategic objectives with the tactical demands. So, too much of theory. Bear with me for a moment. We'll elaborate on that with a very clear example. Consider business architecture as a bridge between the enterprise business model on one side and the enterprise strategy on the other side, along with the functionalities that the enterprise is offering. Okay. So, in my scenario, where I worked, this was a very large organization, around 200K plus employees across the globe. And we deployed business architecture over there just to manage a TCO of a couple of $100 million annually. Just to how we used it, I'll be sharing that example as well. Okay, so let's just move forward. So pretty much we talked about a lot of the big things. Business architecture basically uses a lot of artifacts in order to articulate or express how your organization, how your enterprise exists from an architect's standpoint. So what you see here on the screen are two different artifacts which are a part of the business architecture meta model. One is on the left hand side, what you see is this is called a business motivation model. So you start with an enterprise vision, which feeds your mission, which gives you the mission statement. Mission is divided into goals and objectives. Goals and objectives have different strategies. The strategies are executed through tactics, and tactics use business capabilities at the end in order to drive the strategies. So again, not trying to confuse you with the theory. Let me just take an example. So let's say you have a consumer products company which is having the vision to be the number one snack maker in the world, or to be the preferred snack for world population. Let's put it that hypothetical consumer products company. Okay, they are selling chips, they are selling some snacks, they are selling candies, but their vision is very clear to be a change maker into that space. They will have a mission statement. So mission statement will be translated that what they want to achieve into the, let's say, next 5 or 6 years. Then they will be articulating that by means of a goal. So they will be talking about some profitability goals, that we have to be profitable in, let's say, North America, EMEA, and the profit target has to be X percentage. And they will be having discrete strategies for each of these goals. And it's not just commercial goals. They can have goals which are associated with building trust into platforms, systems, relationships, stuff like that, which might be related to the way they are operating from a governance and compliance standpoint. This is a goal. It is feeding the overall mission, which is linked to the vision. So this has to be viewed from a top-down perspective very clearly. Then each of these strategies will have some tactics. So how do you enhance the profitability? So one tactic is reduce the costs, or optimize or invest into global business services, optimize your back office. Another way could be seek new sources of supply, invest into your procurement. Another one could be increase the sales. There are numerous tactics that can be there. Now, each of these tactics will be needing a delivery vehicle of a business capability. So here we are getting into a very interesting area. What is a business capability? So business capability is like an ability or a capacity that a business might have to execute something. Now on the right hand side, what you see, this is called a business capability map. So you have different processes. In very general terms, what you call as processes, these are basically business capabilities at a very macro level. So if I say procurement, it's a business capability. You might have processes of issuing a PO, invoice processing, or blocking an order, or strategic sourcing under procurement. These are processes. But at the very outset, you need an ability to procure goods and services in order to achieve certain objectives for your business. So that's a capability. Now, why we are talking about these capabilities? One very interesting finding is that in the last financial crisis that was there in 2007 2008, around 30% of the information technology savings were reinvested into the business. So usually it is a general rule of thumb that there are 30% of savings already existing into the existing IT costs that you are bearing. Now, what ends up happening, IT is definitely an asset today. Every single company is an IT company, and the more big data, the more conversation around connected systems with 16 billion devices will be connected and all that stuff that you are hearing. IT becomes a much more strategic asset. How do you decide about which particular application you are investing into today? What is the basis of your decision? You just get impressed by a platform seller or by a provider's pitch or a software company's sales relationships? What basically determines? Does it have a bearing onto the core of your business? Now, what comprises into the core of the business? It's just the right configuration of capabilities for you. What you need, what is the core of a business for a consumer products company? The example we took earlier. The core is closer to the vision, the mission. It will be feeding more and more. It will be more and more strategies will be feeding this core. So the core of the business to be a number one snack maker into the world. But in order to do that, at some places they might have to establish world-class procurement processes, finance processes, admin and logistics processes. But where they should be investing more to be the number one snack maker in the world. That's where their investment should be more and more. Now, what ends up happening is many times there are different reasons associated, there are different reasons involved. And many times we get impressed by other factors other than the core of the business. That's where a capability model, just like an example that you have seen here, it helps. It's very essential to have a business capability model where you can place all your different business capabilities that exist for your enterprise and capture some additional information around them. So let's say procurement, what kind of data it is capturing, what kind of applications are being currently used, who are the key stakeholders who are involved with this business capability, where it is taking the input from, where it is providing the output for. Okay, those kind of questions are very crucial to understand and distinguish. Okay. Now, moving on further, let's say we have a capability model and there are 30 business capabilities that we are currently managing. Now, what to do about it? Now, this is another unique way in which I used the business capability model for the project that I did. And this was something I believe was very helpful when this was presented to the office of the CIO. And there was a lot of appreciation around it. Just with the sheer visibility and clarity that it provides in terms of IT related decision making. So you have IT related decision making as a constraint, especially when you have to decide about what to continue doing, like what application we should continue running, what is critical for our business, what is closer to the core, as we say it, what we should change, and what we should kill. Okay, so there are decisions associated with that. So where do you invest that money? If you just pick up the balance sheet of a particular organization, maybe your organization or any organization for that matter, you will realize there are three core components of highest cost components which are existing into the cost structure. First and foremost is around the people. There will be salaries paid and all that. If there are some assets in the sense, some leased assets and all that stuff, it will definitely make the cut. The third common component which will be there with majority of the companies, it is the IT assets, the IT investments. Now that's where it gets helpful. Now I'll zoom it up and I'll be able to explain you as to how I used it, this business capability model, in order to build a framework of investment appraisal for the senior stakeholders. Okay. So what you see on the screen is a kind of a 2 by 2 matrix. So on the x-axis, you see the priority. So there could be items, there could be business capabilities which are a low priority. From an enterprise core standpoint, there could be medium priority, there could be high priority. Now, how I am determining the priority? The priority is determined by how many strategies this particular capability is supporting. So let's say I have around 30 capabilities and there are 90, let's say, different strategies which are at play, which are being used across the enterprise. Now, these 30 capabilities that I have, each one of them can be ranked. So let's say if there is a particular capability which is supporting 20 strategies or less, I'll call it a low priority. If there is a capability which is supporting in between 20 to 50, I'll call it a medium priority. If there is a capability which is supporting more than 50, I'll call it a high priority. Okay, so that makes it very, very easier for me. Okay, then you have the the x-axis is actually the categories, the y-axis is priorities. So then you have the categories. So categories could be core, it could be enabling, it could be business as usual. Let's take our snack maker company example. What is the core capability? The manufacturing operations of snacks, the marketing of the snack products, the extended supply chains. How do you deliver the products to the end consumers? How do you deliver it to the retailers so end consumers can do it? How do you make it available onto the e-commerce website? That's the core of the business. Okay, there could be enabling capabilities which are not directly executing what the business vision is, but they are supporting the vision indirectly. So enabling capabilities could be, one good example is information technology. So you need to have softwares, you need to have hardware for people to work in the organization. That is an enabling capability. There could be other examples as well. So let's say any sales enablement related capabilities or supplier management capabilities, they are enabling the core of the business, but they are not the core of the business. Managing suppliers is not the core for a snack making organization. The core is make the snacks. Similarly, you have business as usual capabilities. This is a very interesting category, and I'll share very interesting experience as well around the same. So managing building maintenance, managing the logistics, managing recruitment, managing human resources, maintaining payroll accounts, maintaining finance and all that. These are not directly enabling the core, but these are not the core as well. They are what I call as business as usual, which means they have to be executed many times because of compliance, many times because you need certain enabling capabilities and core capabilities to survive. It's business as usual. It's just transactional in nature. Let's say cleaning up the building, the maintenance of the building, and or in a post-COVID new normal kind of scenario, regular disinfection of the building, right? This has to be done, but it doesn't contribute directly to the product or the service that you're offering to the market. So these are business as usual. Now creating a blend and putting that on a kind of a what we used to call a bubble chart or a matrix, it gives you the opportunity which are the capabilities which are necessary or absolutely essential for your core business, and they are high priority because they are feeding a lot of strategies. They are core of the business, like your snack manufacturing operations. If someone is thinking about putting an autonomous system into snack manufacturing and making the organization resilient, that will be considered as a core and a high priority. And you can use your business motivation model in order to see how many different strategies it is able to influence. Okay. Similarly, you have media, you have these, I would say, 9 quadrants separately coming out together. So you have core and high priority, you have core and medium priority, you have core and low priority. So the more you are investing towards high priority and core kind of a segment into this map, the better results or the better return you will get from your IT investments. So this is how this acted as an investment framework. And when we once we plotted it for the organization, we realized in the last couple of years there was hardly any investment into areas which are core and high priority or enabling and high priority. Majority of the investments on what I call as looking good applications. So let's do something with attendance management. What is attendance management? It's business as usual, right? Is it related to the core? No, no additional sales you can have just because, no additional sales of a snack you can have just because a snack making company is marking attendance accurately. Let's invest some money into subcontractor management. Let's invest some money into upgrading the procurement applications. So we were surprised to realize that more than 90% of the investments that were happening in that target organization that I was working with, those investments were happening into low priority, business as usual, low priority and enabling segments. So this visibility was very crucial from two perspectives for a CIO or even for a CFO in some cases. First is hold the key stakeholders or the key program owners responsible for how you want to enable the how do you want to enable the funding, how do you want to have the funding made available to people, to the stakeholders, the requests for budget that are coming. Second is primarily how do you take accountability of the investments that have already been made. So how do you decide which are the applications you either need to sunset or you need to change? Today, any $10 billion company might be spending a couple of $100 million on information technology. And this is one unique way in which you can take out 30 to 40% of the savings which are already built into your IT systems and use them in order to build resilience, or in times like these, use them in order to drive change or drive some large transformation projects. So this was pretty much, this 15-16 minutes is pretty much the gist of this entire article I wrote. You can find the article on my LinkedIn profile. It's you just type in business architecture, it might appear on its own. It's around a 20-22 minute read. So sorry for that elaboration. But yes, I am pretty much sure if you are into this particular segment, of this is something of your interest, you will find this article very handy, very useful. With that, I can close the session. Thank you so much, wherever you are. And I really hope you are doing well. Stay safe in times like this. And for more such videos, don't forget to log on to my website. It's www.tonysharma.com. You can check out some more videos, some more write-ups over there. I keep on writing around technology and related aspects almost regularly. And I hope you found this small, brief video useful. Thank you.